Yes, I am Stanislas Jourdan. I am coordinator for the French movement for basic income and also coordinating the European network for basic income. Yeah, well, in France and in Europe in general, we are facing cuts, and obviously it's always the poorest and the youngest to suffer, because we are basically in a country like France, where we have a developed welfare system. We are always trying to keep the privilege of the existing privilege for certain people and cutting the social protection of the new generation. That's a trend we're seeing, and that's also a trend that we see with the debt crisis, because when we are doing everything we can to pay back the debt, of course it's the debt of the old generation, it's not our debt. So I think there's something very unfair in this whole debt crisis. So that's one thing. The concrete effect is that we are facing more and more precariousness among the young. I want to stress that precariousness is not just about having less money every month, it's also about psychological insecurity. Because some people may have jobs, but it's for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or 2 months, and then they have to go back again into insecurity, and that makes your life very, very difficult, because you cannot make longer-term plans. But what's even more visible in Europe is that we are taking decisions. I mean, the European Union, along with the so-called Troika, with the European Central Bank and so on, they are doing very specific measures that increase that. It's becoming very obvious. And right now, the European Union is trying to have this job guarantee scheme and so on, but it's really bullshit. It's some million euros targeted to very specific groups, but for basically all these social protection schemes, they don't address the poor and the young and the precarious people, because it's a moving target. People in precariousness don't go to unions, they don't benefit from the job of the union, because they always change the situation, they change the city, they move, so it's impossible to struggle. I mean, it's much more complicated to struggle. And in France specifically, we have the problem that we have sort of a conditional basic income, minimum income, but it's you cannot apply for this scheme if you're under 25. So basically, under 25 years old, you are not allowed to be poor in France. That's totally insane. And the other problem is that this system is made so complex that actually 50% of the people who would be eligible for this system don't even ask for it. They don't ask for the money because it's too complex, or they're not well informed, or many other problems. Well, I think it's specifically about the idea of dismantling this psychological insecurity. It's not about giving more money, actually, because somehow people survive and they already get some subsidies or benefits. In France, we have the good thing in France is that the public education system is quite good, but the problem is that it's difficult to get into the labor market right now. So at least basic income can secure people psychologically and avoid the problem of the humiliation effect that the labor market creates right now. Because basically, when you don't find a job, you feel excluded, you lose your friends, because it's more difficult to afford to go to have a drink somewhere, or to visit, to go to the cinema. It costs quite a lot of money sometimes. So poverty creates exclusions, and especially among the young people, I think it's very hard to start his life in these conditions. So. Well, it's a long story. I mean, there are lots of things to do. The first thing is to go online, search for information, educate yourself, find the groups in your country, in your city who support it, and follow what they are doing. You may not have time to take enough action, but even just subscribing to newsletter and keeping being informed is one way to support, and then you can tell your friends, of course. And in general, judge the political system according to whether it's basic income or not. I think that basic income may not be right now a very short-term possible option, but think about the longer term as well, even though it seems utopian and so on. Believe in it because it's self-fulfilling prophecy to believe in basic income. The more we think about it, the more we win, actually. Well, yeah, so we had this campaign. It took 1 year. We wanted to collect 1 million signatures. That was the goal. We only reached 300,000, but I think it's already a lot because a lot of my friends, for example, who don't really understand basic income or agree with it, but they never thought we would have so many signatures. So during this campaign, I've been living as a nomad across Europe, so I've been traveling quite a lot, and I've met a lot of activists for basic income. So it was really inspiring to see that everywhere, in every places in Europe, people were listening and interested. So that's interesting to see that in every country the movement has grown up with this campaign in various ways. It's never the same. We're talking about the same idea, but according to the context of each country, it's totally different. I think what I've seen this year is the growing notion of not only I mean, we used to be a couple of guys promoting the idea on the internet, and now we are growing as a movement and as a community also. It was really important that we had these meetings every 3 months on average. Every 3 months we made somewhere in Europe with all the coordinators. And I think it was really important to have this moment and realize that not only we agree on something, but we share values, we become friends, and we are growing as a community. Was really important. But I guess the most important thing to really, so that the movement can sustain, is the trust. We have to trust ourselves, trust our capacities, and think beyond our political divisions. That's key. Well, I'm not an expert in Korea. No, but generally don't give up. I know that it's increasingly difficult for the young people all over the world to be heard by the political system and the society in general, but don't give up. Basic income is one solution, and it's not just a solution for the young, it's also a solution for all of us. So I think that's also a message to spread, that it's not just that the young people want basic income because we want something better than our parents. No, it's for everyone, just to make society better. So yeah, don't give up.